How do you know that there's an altar walking around your life? How do you know that there's an altar operating around your family or operating around your territory? What metrics do you use to discern the presence of an altar? You will see patterns and repetitive occurrence. This is the most accurate diagnosis of the presence of an altar. It is there to produce particular results. So when you see patterns repeating itself, know that there is an altar at work. And so when we talk about patterns, we are not just talking about negative things, because we also have people who have struck covenants with God that is responsible for certain results, not only in their life, but also in the life of their generations. And so it is expedient that we look at these things holistically. The scripture says, since I was born, now I am old, I have never seen the righteous forsaken. He is the righteous, but there is something about his righteousness that his seed benefited from. He says, nor his seed beg for bread. So it means that the labor of the righteous can rub off on his offspring, that the labor of the righteous can rub off on his seed. And so this is why when we discuss the subject of altars, we are not just zeroing in on negativity or negative patterns. You should be able to know also that there are dividends your generation can enjoy on account of your priesthood with God, and that you can be particular and intentional about enacting and setting covenants in motion that generations after you will become benefactors of. This is why when you look at the way the patriarchs live, they live in the big picture in context. They bring the big picture in context. Their action calculated, the end of their generations. They did not just take decisions that are just self-centered and selfish. This is why when you hear God rebuking David, not a rebuke in terms of condemnation, but rejecting his desire to build him a house. David said, okay, I cannot build it, but I will gather the resources for my child. I know I will not be able to build it because my hand is soiled with blood, but I will make sure every resources necessary to build it will be available for the next generation. So they did not just live their life disconnected from the progress of the other generation. They took decisions with generations in mind. This is why you will continue to see advantages upon advantages being passed from one generation to another. But the way of the unrighteous is not like that. The unrighteous opens up gateways of attack. He leaves warfares for his seed. His life is even better than the people he gave birth to, because every compromise he entertains opens up a door, so much that the battles his children will fight are more than the things he escaped from. When you know these things, temptation will have a different view in your eyes. When you know these things, tests and trials will have a different view in your eyes. You will know that you are not standing there as a human being alone. You are carrying your generation with you. You are representing 1,000 men standing there in front of the bed of corruption. It's either you fall with all of them or you prevail with all of them. Inside one Adam was the whole genealogy of mankind. He fell and all of us fell with him. Inside one Jesus was also the whole genealogy. I'm asking you a question. What role would you play for the success of your bloodline? What role would you play for the restoration of your bloodline? Would you be that one person that showed up in the different account of compromise from generation to generation, like David, a man of war? Imagine, be the one that will finally fight the battles that your ancestors could not win. Would you be the one that will put a full stop to certain occurrences, certain patterns, certain ungodly narrative that has continued to flow from one generation to another? If God is going to stop it, he will stop it with one man.